Hello everyone and welcome back to our Python for Beginners course. In today's lecture, we are going to learn three types of Python collections which are tuples, sets and dictionaries. In the previous lecture, we learned about lists which allow us to store multiple values in a single variable. Now we will explore three other collection types and each of them has their own purpose and unique feature. So firstly we studied the collection known as string, then we studied list. Now we are going to study tuple sets and dictionaries. So first we will understand about tuples. Tuples are very similar to lists, but the main difference is that tuples cannot be modified after they are created. Because of this, they are useful when the data schedule remains fixed. It means tuples are immutable. Next, we will learn about sets. Sets store unique values only, which means duplicate items are automatically removed. Sets are very useful when we need to eliminate duplicate data or perform mathematical set operations. Finally, we will discuss about dictionaries. Unlike lists, tuple, and set, dictionaries store data in key value pairs. This makes it very easy to retrieve information quickly. Dictionaries are one of the most widely used data structures in Python and are commonly used in real-world applications. So, during this lecture, we will also compare these collection types, learn their important method, understand how to access their elements, solve practical examples, and finish with a quiz test our understanding. So, without wasting any time, let's begin our journey into Python collections and understand when to use tuple, sets, and dictionaries. So, moving forward to our next slide. The next slide will be of recap of the previous lecture. So now, without wasting time, moving on to our next slide. So, as I told you that before we start today's new topic, let's make a quick recap of what we learned in lecture number 9, where we studied lists in Python. So, a quick revision help us to remember previous concept and make learning new topics much easier. So, first we learned about what are lists. You can see in PPT here, you can also read from here. So, a list is an ordered and mutable collection of items. It can store different types of data such as numbers, strings, Boolean values, or even other lists. We also saw the lists are written inside the square brackets. Next, we learn how to create list. So we create a list by placing values inside a square bracket and separating each item with a comma. So Python allows us to create empty list of number, string, and even mixed data type of list. After that, we studied about list indexing. Every element inside a list has an index, and index starts from 0. Using indexes, we can access any individual element directly. We also learn about negative indexing, where -1 refers to the last element of the list, and positive indexing, where 0 refers to the first element of the list. Then we move to slicing of the list. Slicing allows us to extract a portion of a list using the syntax start, stop, and step. It is a very useful feature whenever we want only a specific part of a list instead the entire list. After that, we explored the operations of the list. We learned how to join two lists using the plus operator, repeat a list using multiplication operator, and check whether an item exists in a list using in or not in operators. Then after that, we discussed some commonly used list method like append, insert, remove, pop, sort, reverse, count, clear, copy, index, and many more. These built-in methods make working with lists much easier. Finally, we learned about nested lists. A nested list simply means a list inside another list. Nested lists are very useful for representing table, matrices, grids, student records, and many other real-world data structures. So that was a quick summary of everything we learned in the previous lecture. Now that we are comfortable working with lists, it's time for us to move one step further and explore more powerful Python collection. that are tuple, sets, and dictionaries. This was a quick recap. So if you have any doubt in this, you can go and watch my previous lecture. Now let's get started and moving on to our next slide. Now let's start with our first collection data type, which is tuples in Python. If you already know about list, then learning tuples will be very easy because tuples and lists are very similar. However, there is only one difference that you always remember, that tuple is ordered collection of items. It allows us to store multiple values inside a single variable, just like a list. A tuple can store different types of data together. For example, it can contain number, strings, Boolean values, decimal values in the same collection. The biggest feature of a tuple is that it is immutable, meaning you once created, so it cannot be changed. What it means, if you once create a tuple, you cannot add new items or remove existing items or modify value inside it. This makes tuple useful whenever your data should remain fixed throughout the program. Now, what is a tuple? As you can see here, tuple is an ordered collection of items. Since it is ordered, Python remembers the position of every element, just like list. Tuple support indexing and slicing. They can also contain multiple data types together. But unlike list, tuple are read-only creations. Now, how to create tuples? Instead of using a square brackets, tuples are created using round brackets, also called parentheses. These round brackets are called parentheses. For example, here you can see the example given. P1 is equal to 10, 20, 30. You can see 10, 20, and 30 are in parentheses. So they are, what are they? They are called tuples. So you can also see here that it is a tuple of strings, and it is a top tuple of various data types containing integer, string, float value, boolean value. Now this one T4 is equal to 5 comma. This is called a single item tuple. Notice the comma after the number. Many beginners forget this comma and make mistake. Now if you forget the comma, then Python will treat it as an integer, not a tuple. So remember the important rule. A single element tuple must always end with a comma. Let me clear this mess. Okay. Now moving towards the features of Python. The first feature is that it is ordered. This means the order of elements is maintained. If apple is the first item, it always remains the first item. The second feature is immutable. I already told you what immutable means. It means once the tuple is created, it cannot be modified. You cannot use methods like append, remove, or pop with tuples. The third feature is that tuples allow duplicate values. If the same value appear multiple times, Python store all of them. Another important feature is that tuples are heterogeneous. This means they can store different types of values together. Finally, tuples are generally faster and more memory efficient than lists because they are immutable. That is one of the reasons why programmers use tuples whenever the data does not need to change. Now let's understand the example given here. So our first tuple is t is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we print this tuple, Python displays all the values exactly as they are stored. Next is this tuple of fruits. If we write print fruits 1, so banana is at index 1, so Python will return the output banana. Now the last tuple is this mixed tuple. This example shows that people can store number, string, floating values, and boolean values together. So, to summarize, a tuple is very similar to a list. The only major difference is that lists are mutable while tuples are immutable. Whenever your data should remain constant and should not be modified accidentally, using a tuple is the better choice. In the next section, we will move on to the another powerful Python collection called sets. Thank you. Moving on to our next slide. Now let's learn about another important Python collection called sets. Set is used to store multiple items in a single variable, just like lists and tuples. However, sets have some special features that make them different. According to the slide, a set is unordered mutable and does not allow duplicate values. Now let's understand each of these one by one. So what is a set? A set is a collection of unique items. If the same value is written multiple times, Python automatically keeps only one copy. Another important point is that sets are unordered. This means the items do not have a fixed position. Unlike lists and tuples, we cannot say that an item is always at index 0 or index 1. Because of this, sets do not support indexing or slicing. Sets are also mutable, which means we can add or remove elements after creating the set. So remember these points. Sets do not allow duplicate values. I told you that. So remember these 3 points. Sets are unordered, mutable, and they don't have duplicate values. Now let's see how we can create sets. So sets are created using curly braces, also called flower brackets. These curly brackets are also called flower brackets. Like you can see the example here, s1 equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 in curly braces. This creates a sets of number. This creates a sets of string. Now a set can also contain different data types. So this is a set of mixed data types. Now look at the third example. S3 is equal to set and nothing is written. This creates an empty set. This is very important. If you write only curly braces, Python creates an empty dictionary, not an empty set. So whenever you have to create an empty set, use the set function with parenthesis. Many beginners make this mistake, so keep this point in your mind. Now, one of the biggest advantage of sets is that they automatically remove duplicate value. For example, you can see here s is equal to 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. You can see 2 is coming 2 times, 3 is coming 2 times, 4 is coming 2 times. But when this is a set, but when you print, Python stores only 1, 2, 3, 4. This is because set keeps only unique values. So if you have a list of repeated student ID or repeated names, you can convert into a set to get only unique values. Now let's understand the example given here. So first one is of colors. I can print all the colors. However, the order may be different every time because sets are unordered. Now next, you can see the add method is used here. So using the add method, a new item will be inserted. Like here, the new color yellow is inserted in this set. The second method is the remove method. It helps to remove the elements blue from the set. Again, when we print the set, the order may not match the order in which we inserted the items. Finally, look at this example of numbers nums equal to 10, 20, 30, 40. Here the number 20 appears twice, but after printing the output contains only 120. This clearly shows that sets automatically remove duplicate value. So let's quickly revise. A set is a collection of unique items. Set is unordered, which means there is no fixed position of elements. Set is mutable, so we can add or remove items whenever needed. And most importantly, sets automatically remove duplicate values. Whenever you need uniqueness, fast searching, or removing duplicates, a set is usually the best choice. In the next slide, we will learn about dictionaries, which is another useful Python collection. So, hope this slide and the previous slide is clear to you. If you have any problem, you can go back and you can pause the lecture and you can watch again from there. Now it's time to learn one of the most important and powerful and widely used data type in Python called dictionary. A dictionary is very different from a list, tuple, or set. Instead of storing values by their position or index, a dictionary stores data in key value pairs. You can see that dictionary stores in key value pairs. According to this slide, dictionaries are mutable, ordered, and key must be unique. Now, what is dictionary? A dictionary stores information using key and value pairs. The first point, you can see in an English dictionary, every word has a meaning. Similarly, in a Python dictionary, the key is like word and the value is the information associated with that key. For example, if you want to store information about a student, index of remembering the name is at index 0 and age is at index 1, we can simply use meaningful keys like name, age, and city. Another important point is that key must be always unique. You cannot have two identical keys inside the same dictionary. However, values can be repeated and dictionaries are mutable, which means we can easily add, update, or remove data whenever needed. And the third point is that value can be of any data type. Like the others, you can give the value of any data type, either a string, boolean, integer, float. Now, every item in a dictionary consists of two parts, key and value. The first part is key and the second part is value. They are separated using a colon, like this. You can see here they are separated using a colon. This is column. Here you can see key and then column and then value. Now, different key value pairs are separated using commas. One easy way to remember this is key tells us what the data is and value tells us the actual information. Now, how to create dictionaries? A dictionary is created using curly braces. Inside the braces, we write the data in the form of key value. For example, you can see here the student is equal to name, Amit, age 20, course BTech. This dictionary stores the pieces of information. If you want an empty dictionary, you can just write D1 is equal to curly braces. This will generate you empty dictionary, or you can write D1, D2 is equal to dict and parenthesis. The both work same, both will create empty dictionary. And later you can add new key value pair whenever you want. Now let's understand the example shown here. We created this dictionary called person and stored some key value pairs in it. Now the dictionary stores three pieces of information. Now look at the last line, which is printing print, print person and then using the key here name. So you can see instead of using the index, we use the key name. So the output will be Ria because here the value of this key is Ria. So this makes dictionary very easy to understand. Here you can see that person age. So age is 21. So you can see the output 21. Now here you can see get method is used. A get method is another safe way to access value. If the key does not exist, get returns none instead of giving an error. Now let's update the dictionary. Here we are updating the dictionary by setting the person age equal to 22 and person country to India. Now here the dictionary is updated and here you have added one more key value which is country India. Finally, if we no longer need a key, we can remove it by del. This deletes the city key along with its value. Here it is written person city which is जो मेरे कैमरा से छुप चुका है. Now let's quickly revise today's slide. A dictionary stores data in key value pairs and keys are unique which while values can be repeated. Dictionaries are mutable, so we can add, update, and delete items easily. Unlike list, we access data using keys, not indexes. So, whenever you want to store information with meaningful labels, such as student details, employee records, product information, or user profiles, dictionaries are the best choice. In the next slide, we will compare list, tuple, sets, and dictionaries so you will clearly understand when to each one of these. Hope these collections are clear to you. Now, moving on to our next slide. Now that we have learned about list, tuple, sets, and dictionaries, let's compare all of them together. This comparison will help you understand which collection should be used in different situations. Many beginners get confused because all four can store multiple values, but each one of has its own purpose. Let's compare them one by one. Now, here you can see the features. Here you can see the features. So the first feature is ordered feature. An ordered collection keeps the item in same sequence in which they are inserted. So you can see a tuple is ordered, list is also ordered, set is not ordered. A dictionary is also ordered. It preserves the insertion order of key value pairs in modern Python version. So it is also ordered. How? That means the order of elements in a set may changes whenever you print it. Now the second feature is mutable. Mutable means the data can be changed after it is created. So I told you that tuple is not mutable. Once a tuple is created, we cannot add, remove, or modify it. And on the other hand, list, sets, and dictionaries all are mutable. You can see I also told you in the previous slide that all of these are mutable. So we can easily update, insert, or delete data from them. Now let's talk about this feature that which of this collection allows duplicate value. So a tuple allows, as I told you, a tuple allows duplicate value. Now a list also allows duplicate value, but sets don't allow duplicate value. I told you that sets don't allow duplicate value. Python automatically removes them. In a dictionary, there is like here you can see directly that tuple allows different value, list allows different values, set does not allow different values. But in a dictionaries, the keys must be unique, but the values can be duplicated. So, for example, two students may have same marks, but two students cannot have same name. Now, coming to the syntax. So, each collection has its own syntax. So, the tuple uses round brackets or parentheses. The list uses square brackets. Set uses curly braces. And a dictionary also uses curly braces, but inside the curly braces, key and column, then value is there. So remember both sets and dictionary use curly braces, but dictionary always contain key value pairs. Now let's see how we access the data. In a tuple, we access item by using index. Same as list, we use item by using index. In set, there is no indexing because sets are unordered. If we want to access value, we use loops. In a dictionary, we access value using key, not indexes. Now, see the data types. So all four collections can store different type of data together. For example, number, string, boolean, floating point. This is called heterogeneous data. So every collection shown here supports heterogeneous data. All the tuple list sets and dictionary can contain multiple data. Now let's discuss about the performance. A tuple is generally faster than a list because it can be modified. It cannot be modified, sorry. And list is slower than tuple because slightly slower because it supports most operation. A set provides very fast searching and number seek testing. For example, you are checking whether an item exists in a set, it is usually faster than inside a list. A dictionary is also very fast when searching by key. That is why dictionaries are widely used in real-world Python program. Now let's quickly revise the important difference. Tuple is immutable while the other three are mutable. Set is unordered and remove duplicate values automatically. Dictionary store important information as key value pairs and every key must be unique and values can be duplicated. List and tuple uses indexing, whereas dictionary use key and sets do not support indexing. When should you use each one? So this is probably the most important part of the slide. So when you use tuple, when your data should never be changed. For example, if you have to print days of the week, days of month, or fixed coordinates. Now, when you use a list, so when you need an ordered collection that may change over time, you can use list. Lists are most commonly used collection in Python. When you use the set, so when you need only unique values or when you want fast searching and duplicate removal, you can use sets. Now when you use dictionary, so when your data has labels such as student information, employee records, product details, or other user profile, you can use dictionaries. So today we compared all four Python collections. Each one has its own strengths. There is no collection that is better than all the others. The best choice depends on the type of data you are working with and the problem you are trying to solve. Once you understand these differences, choosing the right collection in Python becomes much easier. So now in the next slide, we will learn some useful methods and practical example to strengthen these concepts even further. Hope this is clear to you. Moving on to our next slide. Now let's learn about the method of tuples. Unlike lists, tuples have very limited built-in methods because tuples are immutable. Since we cannot add, remove or modify elements in a tuple. So Python provides only two main methods for tuple. The methods are count and index. Now let's understand both one by one. The first method is count. The count method returns how many times a specific value appears inside a tuple. So the syntax is very simple. As you can see the syntax here, tuple.count and in parenthesis value is written. So Python searches the entire tuple, counts how many times the given value appears and return the number as an integer. Now look at the given example. You can see here the example t is equal to 1 to 3, 2, 4 to 5. Now print t dot count 2. So how many times 2 is appearing in this example in this tuple? So 2 is appearing 3 times. So the Python returns the output 3. And how many times 10 is appearing? So 10 is not in the tuple. So the output will return 2. Now count tell us how many times the value is present. It does not tell us where the value is located. Now index method. It returns the position of the first occurrence of a value inside a tuple. Its syntax is also very simple. You can see here tuple.index value start and end. Here start and end parameters are optional. If we don't provide them, Python searches the entire tuple. Now look at the example. This tuple 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Now if we write print t.index 20, Python returns 1 because 20 is at index 1. If we but index return the first match. Now look at this example. Python starts searching from index 2. Now the first 20 is skipped and the output becomes 3. Here Python starts with index 2. So this both are skipped and then Python search 20, then 20 will appear here. So 0, 1, 2, 3. Then Python will become output 3. And in last Python is checking where is 50. So 50 is at index 5, so Python will return 5. One important thing to remember is if the value is not found, index raises a value error. So always make sure that value exists before using this method. Now let's look at examples. Here the tuple contains fruits, apple, banana, again apple, cherry, and फिर again apple. Now count function is used for counting how many times the apple is appearing in the tuple. So apple is appearing 3 times, so Python will return output 3. Similarly, the output for banana will give 1. Now let's see another tuple A, B, C, D, E. Here we use the index and B is present at first index, so it will be present here. Now B2, अब देखो ये इंडेक्स 0 1 स्किप हो जाएगा और 2 से चालू करेगा तो देखेगा कि इंडेक्स ये बी कहाँ आ रहा है. ये भी इसके हिसाब से 3 पे आ रहा है 0 1 2 3. So it is coming on 3, so output will be 3. Similarly for B. Now if you write t.index x, Python will return value error. Index returns where the first value appears. Let's quickly revise. Tuple have only two important built-in methods. The count method that tells number of occurrence of a value. The index method that tells us the position of the first occurrence of a value. Even though tuples have fewer methods than list, these two methods are very useful when searching and analyzing tuple data. Now, in the next slide, we will learn about such methods, where we will see several uses of functions for adding, removing, and managing elements in a set. Hey everyone, before we begin, I just want to apologize for a small technical issue. My camera is not working properly right now, so there won't be a facecam in this lecture from this slide. So I am really sorry about that. I will make sure it's fixed by the next lecture or the lecture after the next lecture. So until then, let's focus on the content. Today we are going to learn about Python sets method in detail. So let's get started. Now let's learn these topics. Set methods. Set methods help us add, remove, and manage elements inside a set. The most common four methods are add, remove, discard, and clear. So the first method is the add method. It is used to add a single element to a set. The syntax is this. You can see the syntax here. Set.add and in parenthesis name of element. If the element is already present, it will be added. But if it already exists, nothing changes because sets does not allow duplicate values. Now the output will be, you can see here the example where a set is given and the set is 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then the add function is used. After that print is used, then the output is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you use add whenever you want to insert a new item into set. Now the second method is the remove method. Yeah. It removes a specified element from the set. The syntax is very simple, set.remove and then element. Now here you can see the example. S is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. Then remove method is used and you can clearly see the output 1, 2, 4. 3 is removed here. So if the element is not present in the Python, it raises a key error. So use remove only when you are sure that the element exists in the remove. Now the third method is the discard method. It also removes an element from the set, but it is safer than remove. The syntax is set.discard and then element. You can see the example s is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. Then discard method is used. Discard method is used here, and the output is 1, 2, 3, and 4. Even since 5 is not present here, no error occurs. The whole set is in the output. That's why we use discard when we are not sure whether the element exists or not. Now, the last method is clear. It removes all elements from the set and make it empty. The syntax is set.clear. Now you can see the example s is equal to 1, 2, 3. Clear method is used, and you can see empty set in the output. Now you can see examples of all four methods here. Now let's understand each of the example. You can see add. Here by the add method 30 is being added to the set, this set, and a new set is created. Here remove is used to remove 20 from the given set. Here discard is used to discard 40 from the given set, but 40 is not present. So the the same set will come here. Now the last is clear set. It is used to print here the empty set. Now let's quickly revise that about all these functions or all these methods. We use add to insert new element, remove to delete an existing element, remove to remove to delete an existing element when you are sure that it exists. Discard to remove an element safely without any error, and clear to remove all elements from the set. These are all the most commonly used methods while working with Python sets. Now that you understand this topic, let's move to our next topic. Now let's learn about dictionary methods in Python. So dictionaries have built-in methods that help us access, retrieve, and update data. In the slide, we will cover 5 commonly used methods: the key method, value method, item method, get method, and update method. Now, the first method is the keys. It returns all the keys of a dictionary as a view object. The syntax is very simple. Dict.keys. Remember, keys in a dictionary are always unique. Now you see the example here, a dictionary is created. Now you can see the keys function is used, and all the keys of the dictionary like ID, name, and age are given in the output. So remember, we use keys whenever we need only the keys of dictionary. Similarly, the second method is values method. Like the keys method returns the keys, the value method returns the value stored in the dictionary. Simple is similar as the syntax of keys. Its syntax is dict.values. Unlike keys, values can be duplicated. So you can see the example here, the same dictionary, but here if you want only values, print d.values, and you can see all the values are printed in the output and keys are not printed. Now the third method is items. It returns both keys and values together as key value pair in the form of tuple. The syntax is it.items. Now you can see the example, item method is used, and you can see all the dictionary with key value is given in the output in the form of tuple. This method is commonly used when we want to loop through both keys and value at the same time. Now, coming on to our fourth method, it is the get method. It returns the value of a specified key. If the key is not found, it returns none or the default value instead of giving an error. The syntax is this dict.key, default. For example, you can see here a dictionary is given, then get method is used. So d.getName returns Amit, d.getAge returns none, and d.age, 0 gives 0. This makes gets a safe way to access dictionary values. Now, the fifth method is update method. It is used to add new key value pair or update existing one. The syntax is dict.update other dict. Now we can see example. Here a dictionary is given and in update here it is written age equal to 20. Age and value 20. Now in our output you can see a new key value pair is added. So update can modify both existing and add new data. Now you can see examples here of all these 5 functions. Let's understand these examples. You can see here key method is used and all the keys of this example of this dictionary is in the output. Same with value method, all the value of this example is here. In items, you can see all the key and value pair are in the output in the form of tuple. With the get method, you can see name Amit, age 20 and city. You can't see the city here, so the output will be none. Now, with the update method, you can see it is updating city Delhi and age 21. So in the output, a new key value pair city Delhi and is added and the age 20 will be updated to age 21. Now let's quickly revise. We use keys to get all dictionary keys, values to get all dictionary values, items to get both key and value pair. We use get to safely access values and update to add our modified dictionary data. These methods make working with dictionaries much easier and more efficient. Now let's move on to our next topic. Now let's understand how to access elements in different Python collections. Since tuples, sets, and dictionaries work differently, the way we access their element is also different. In this slide, we will learn tuple indexing, set transversal, and dictionary access using keys. So firstly, we will discuss with tuple indexing. Tuples are ordered collection, so every element has an index. We can access elements using indexing and the index always starts from 0. So the syntax is tuple underscore name and index. This is the syntax. For example, you can see a tuple is created here. T is equal to apple, banana, cherry, and date. So the first statement, this print T0 prints apple because it is at index 0. The second prints cherry because it is at index 2. The third uses negative indexing. So -1 returns the last element, which is date. Finally, slicing from index 1 to 3 returns banana and cherry. This is slicing. So tuple supports both indexing and slicing. Now let's talk about sets. Sets are unordered collections, so they don't support indexing. Instead, we use a loop to access every element. This process is called traversal. Now let's understand uh, this syntax. You can see for item in set name and then all the statements. Now let's understand with a simple example. Here you can see a set. Now this loop prints every element in the set. One important thing to remember is that the order of the output may change every time you run the program because sets are unordered. Now let's see how to access elements in a dictionary. So dictionary is a store data in key value pairs. So we access value using their keys. The syntax is dict underscore name then key. Now you can see example here. A dictionary is created and the 3 statements are given. The first statement prints Amit because it is accessing the key name. The second one prints CSE and the third one prints 101. So in dictionaries, we always use keys to access corresponding values. Now let's understand these examples. You can see a tuple here and Here I think it's you can see a tuple here, and with indexing we are getting at index 1 we tuple has the value 20, so the output will be 20. Similarly, with negative indexing at minus 2, 30 is there, so output will be 30. And it is in slicing, it will return 20 and 30. Now the set contains red, green, and blue. So with the loop, we can get all the values in the set. You can see. Now in dictionaries, you can see a dictionary here. With the first statement, we get the output area. With the second statement, we get the age 20. Now, what we have learned today? We learned that tuples are accessed using indexes. Sets are accessed by traversing them with loops because they don't have indexes. And dictionary are accessed using keys. So always choose the correct method based on the collection type you are working with. Now, let's move on to our next slide. Hope this is clear to you, and I think that the lecture is over and then we will practice some programs. So I hope all the thing is clear to you. If you have any doubt, you can go back and watch the lecture again. Thank you. Let's understand how Python collections are used in real life scenario. Like we have studied our total lecture in all the previous slides. Now we have to practice some problems. So in this example, we are gonna create a simple student information manager using a dictionary. Then we will practice one example of set and one example of tuple. After practicing these examples, you have to practice more examples on your own. Now, here you can see that our first example, which is on student information, we are going to solve using dictionary. So, here we created a dictionary named student. You can see we created a dictionary named student. It stored a student information as key value pair. The key are name, age, and course, and the corresponding values are Rahul 20 and this year. Then two print statements are there. In the first print statement, we access the value of the name key, which gives us the output Rahul. In the second statement, we are accessing the value of the key course, which is giving us the output BCA. Now this shows how dictionary allow us to store and retrieve real world information efficiently using key. Like if we will use another print statement which access the key age, then it will return us 20. So you can see the output. So wherever we know the key, we can directly access its corresponding value. Now let's took a simple set example. So we have a set of colors containing red, blue, green. Then we use the add method to insert a new color, yellow. So this is the code. We are using add method here, and then we use the print statement to add the color yellow. Now you can see the output here. The output now contains 4 unique colors. Remember, sets do not allow duplicate values. And since sets are ordered, the order of output may be different every time you run the program. So you can see the output is blue, red, yellow, green. You can see yellow is successfully added. Now, our last example of tuple. Here we are using tuple containing 3 fruits, that's are apple, banana, and mango. Since tuples are ordered, we access element using indexing. So you can see the code here. The tuple of fruits are given, and then the print statement is used to print the fruit which is at the index 1. So you can see Which fruit is at index 1? At 0 we have apple, at 1 we have banana. So index 1 refers to the second element, so the output will be banana. Tuple supports indexing, but they are immutable, which means their values cannot be changed. So you can see if here it will be 2, then the value will be mango. If here it will be 0, the value will be apple. Now, what we have revised today? We use a dictionary to store and access student information using the keys. Our first example. In our second example, we use the set to add a new unique value with the add method. This now in our last example, we use tuple indexing to access a specific element. Now these examples show how Python collections are used in practical applications. I hope you understand this lecture. Now practice these programs on your own to become more confident with Python collection. Now let's move to our next slide. So now we have completed all our slides. We have practice program. It's time for a quick quiz. These questions will help you check how well you have understood Python collections. I have read each question. I'll give you a few seconds to think and then we will discuss the correct answer. So let's start. So first question is, what is the difference between a list and a tuple? Option A, list is mutable, but tuple is immutable. Option B, list is unordered, but tuple is ordered. List uses curly braces, tuple uses parentheses. List allows duplicates, tuple does not. Now take a moment to think or pause the video, then think. I hope you have got the answer. So the correct option is answer A. Lists are mutable, which means they can be modified after creation, whereas tuples are immutable. They can't be further modified. Now, question number 2. Why are sets useful? They store duplicate values, they store key value pairs, they store non-duplicate values, or they are faster than dictionaries. Think about it. Pause the video and then answer. So, hope you have given the answer. The correct option is option C. The sets automatically remove duplicate values and store only unique elements. Now, third question. What is a dictionary? Option A, an ordered collection of unique values, unordered collection of items, a collection of key value pairs, or an immutable collection. Pause the video, take a moment. So the correct option is option number C. Dictionaries store data in the form of key value pairs. Now, coming to our fourth questions. Which methods add an item to a set? Insert, add, append, or extend. So the add method is used to insert a new element into a set. This is correct. Now, question number 5. How do we access a dictionary value? Dict.value key, dict key, dict.getValue key, dict key or dict key. Sorry, one option is extra here, and this option is wrong. Forget this. So the correct option is option number B, dict key. We use square brackets with the key like dict key to access a dictionary value. Now, which collection, our sixth question, which collection stores key value pair? It is very simple. List, set, tuple, or dictionary. I hope you have answered it correctly. So dictionaries are a special designed to store data as key value pair. It was very easy. Now, seventh question. Can a tuple be modified after creation? Uh, See the options and pause the video and answer the question. So the correct option is no, because tuples are immutable and they cannot be modified after they are created. Now, coming to the last question of this pitch, which collection automatically remove duplicate value? List, tuple, set, or dictionary? Pause for a moment and answer the question. So the correct option is option number C, set. Sets automatically keep only unique values and remove duplicates. Now, excellent work. If you answered most of these questions correctly, it means you have understand the concepts of Python collections very well. If you found any questions difficult, don't worry, go back, revise the topic, and practice a few more examples. The more you practice, the more confident you will become. Now let's move on to our final slide, where we will going to conclude our today's lecture. Hope all the all the slides are clear to you. And again, sorry for my camera issue. So moving on to our next slide. So finally, our collections of Python is completed, and with that, we have successfully completed the half of the Python course. I hope this session helped you understand the concepts of tuple, sets, and dictionaries in a simple and practical way. We covered what these collections are, how they work, how to access their elements, the most commonly used method, and even solved some real life examples. And then we do some quiz questions together. Now, I would highly recommend that you don't just watch this lecture and move on. You open your VS Code, type every program yourself, and try making small changes to the examples. The more you practice, the better you will understand these concepts. Programming is a practical skill, and the only way to prove it through regular practice. You can also challenge yourself by creating your own example. For instance, creating a dictionary for employee details, a set of your favorite colors, or a tuple containing the days of the week. The small exercises like these will help you build confidence in Python. So before ending this lecture, I want to sincerely apologize for the camera issue. Unfortunately, my camera stopped working while recording this lecture, so I could not include the face cam. I am really sorry if I affected your learning experience. I'll make sure that the issue is completely fixed before recording the next lecture, so everything will be back to normal. I also want to apologize if you noticed a few mistakes while I was speaking or explaining any concept. During the recording, I was having hiccups which caused a few unexpected pauses and interruptions in my speech. I tried my best to continue recording without stopping so that the lecture could be uploaded on time. Thank you so much for your patience and understanding. If you ever find any mistake in the lecture or have any questions, feel free to mention them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer your questions and help you understand the topic better. Your feedback is always valuable because it helps me improve future lectures. So if you found this lecture helpful, please consider liking the video or share it with your friends or classmates and subscribe to our channel if you have not already. Your support motivates me to create more free and high quality Python tutorials and programming content for everyone. In our next lecture, we are continuing our Python journey with another exciting topics. So make sure you don't miss it. Until then, keep practicing, keep learning, keep coding, and never stop exploring new things in the programming. So thank you again. Thank you so much for watching this lecture. Take care, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next Python lecture. I hope till the next Python lecture, the webcam issue must be cleared, and I am happy to say that almost 60 to 70% of the lecture is completed. 60 to 70% of the course is completed. Sorry. Now, so with this, let's conclude our lecture. Okay, goodbye and happy coding. Thank you.